Oh, welcome back to Off the Curb, Justin Spiro. What a great time to be alive as a Lions fan, which is maybe the first time I can say that in my lifetime, at least since I was out of diapers. Absolutely unbelievable. I think everyone in this fan base is thrilled. I saw so many pictures, and the players have talked about it, the coaches have talked about it, of the Detroit fans invading Arrowhead. And I knew a few that were down there. One of them, longtime friend of mine, George Kordas. I had to bring him on, talk about the experience in KC last night. George, what's up, man?
Hey, Justin, good to see you, man. Thanks for reaching out. It was a fun one. It was a great time in Kansas City last night. I'll tell you that much.
At what point did you know you were going? Because I thought I was under the impression it was semi last minute. Like, when did you put this together?
So we were planning on probably 6 months ago. We were planning on coming to Boulder, where I'm at now, and we had this plan, kind of in place. Deion Sanders just became the coach, obviously, and probably 2 months ago, a supplier of ours called me and said, "Hey, we'd love to kind of get you out here. We have a nice setup. They had a nice little suite there, and they kind of said, love to get you out for a game this year. Anyone you want. They're Kansas City based." I said, "Well, how about that first game in about 3 weeks?" They said, "You got it, done deal." And the rest is history. We flew out there and had an absolutely incredible night at Arrowhead.
Yeah, I saw the picture, and Ben, you can throw it up for the audience of you and Annie, your wife.
Sure.
I think that's in the suite there at Arrowhead. Were you guys going into that last night kind of thinking, shucks, why not? I got invited by a corporate partner, like not expecting much. Did you go in expecting the Lions to pop them? Like, where were you at going into it?
I'm a believer, but I'm also a realist. And that this team has let us down, since I was born. And but at the same time, ever since, I mean, obviously they finished strong last year, but that Green Bay game really changed my mindset. And when we fought till the end, knocked Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs, made sure Green Bay wasn't in the playoffs, I said, I'm in. I'm all in. So going into it last night, did I think we were going to win? I thought we had a solid chance. I really just wanted to have a rock star game and kind of, I just really wanted it to be close and not get slaughtered, and maybe eke one out. But winning was the cherry on top. I mean, it was unbelievable. The stadium, their fan base was in shock, and that stadium is electric. Arrowhead is a bucket list, like you said when we were speaking. It's always been for me, but especially in that type of environment, and for the Lions to go in on a banner-raising night and punch the Super Bowl champs, right in the chin, and kind of steal the thunder. Who would have thought? We're talking about the Lions here, and it was special. I mean, it was that team's real. There's nothing you can say about it. I mean, anytime you got Mahomes on the other side of the ball, I don't care who he's throwing to. I get it. Kelsey was out. This guy can make things happen, and the Lions shocked the world last night. It was fantastic.
So, at what point did the mood shift in that building? Because it seemed to be like, from the video you posted, how loud it was, and that's their reputation at Arrowhead. It's always up there with it's Seattle and KC for best home field advantage, at the peak of the Saints, like the Superdome was in there too. Like, when did it start to shift from, the coronation of the defending champions and the celebration of that and the anticipation of this new season, and then it starts to shift into like this, what the fuck's going on here? Like, did you feel that in the building?
A little bit. It was unbelievable how loud they still were, but even when they were tied, they're not used to it, especially on a night like that. I shouldn't say that. They had some comeback wins last year, but from the get-go, I mean, it was the loudest stadium I've ever been in. There's nothing even close. I felt like I was at a concert. And for Goff to be able to call plays for them to kind of even hear themselves think was mind blowing. Probably around, I'd say maybe 6-7 minutes left in the fourth, things started slowing down a little bit more, and you started hearing some Lions chants, and all of a sudden the pockets of Lions fans kind of would hear each other and kind of join in, because there was a literal shock amongst the fans, and we in the suite we had about 6 Lions fans and probably about 8 or so Kansas City fans, and they were quiet. It was kind of a wild deviation, but yeah, I'd say about probably 6 minutes left in the fourth, they it subsided, and all of a sudden, about 2 minutes left, the fans started dipping out, and all of a sudden you saw a lot of blue, and you realized how many Lions fans were actually there, because the stadium's a little bit deceiving. All the seats are painted red. And so even when someone gets up and uses the restroom, it looks like there's a red Chiefs fan sitting in the seat, because it's kind of like old Joe Louis or something like that. But it's intimidating. So like that picture you saw of my wife Annie and I, you can't see a lot of blue in the background. But when the fans started leaving, and all of a sudden we saw the massive amounts of blue that were left over, the last one standing, really. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty epic.
When they line up to go for the 4th and 20, they get the false start. Now it's 4th and 25, and Mahomes is still on the field. Any other situation with any other quarterback and even coach combination, it's like, get that coach committed. What is he doing? I thought it was a coin flip that he was going to get the 4th and 25, and they actually did have a little something downfield for a 30-yard pass. They almost hit it. Were you terrified when he's dropping back on that 4th and 25 with the history of the Lions and Mahomes as great as he is?
Yes, without a doubt. Yeah, Mahomes, I don't know how many comebacks. There's some stat. I think he had 5 or 6 just unbelievable comebacks over the past couple of years. And they were down 24 at one point with X amount of time left. I forgot what game that was. He was hitting his receivers. They just weren't catching the ball. It was a Tony. It was a disaster with a few of their receivers that they let him down. So they were kind of a huge positive for us, because that doesn't typically happen to us. We're used to that, kind of late game meltdown, that letdown. I think it was the Minnesota game I was at with my father. I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. We scrambled back, 1 second left, scored a touchdown. All we needed was an extra point to tie the game, and we missed the extra point. We were still celebrating. We didn't even know what happened, but we missed that extra point. That was something that would typically happen to a Lion, fan. And it didn't last night. It went our way, and I think that's because that's it. This mindset. Things are different. I think teams are a little bit more on edge. They're playing us a little bit different, because this is a legit team.
I was laughing. I saw the picture you had on Instagram, and Ben can throw it up, of Annie. I'm pretty sure this was after the game, having a little beverage in the parking lot. Like, were you guys Oh, go ahead.
We were having a blast. It was. The stadium takes forever to filter out. It's not, the logistics are a little dicey at Arrowhead. There's one road, and so we were just sitting there. We said, let's enjoy ourselves. We had a driver, so we celebrated, and we're feeling it. We're feeling it today.
I'll bet. Yeah, let that altitude in Colorado heal you up a little bit. Hopefully that'll work out.
Got it.
Yeah, you said Arrowhead's the loudest place you've ever been. I think Ford Field next Sunday for the Seahawks game in week 2 might set some decibel records. Like, I think they got to have a representative from Guinness there. So before we get you out of here, I'm fascinated by what's going on at your alma mater. You're a UC Boulder alum, proud.
Sure.
I have repeatedly teased you over the years for the state of your football program. These are the belle of the ball after that TCU win, and even before that, just the excitement and the intrigue of Deion. Like, were you in on Deion right away? Or are you a Johnny-come-lately in the fan base? Like, where were you at? Because he's so polarizing, especially before that TCU win.
The absolute second that I heard that he might be the head coach of our football team, I was ecstatic. He is just this. Yeah, polarizing is a good term, but the guy is phenomenal. Everything he touches turns to gold. If you look at him, he was a winner as a player. He's been a winner as a coach. He honestly, the way he coaches, you see a lot. I'm incredibly lucky out of nowhere because I we've got Dan Campbell now and we've got Deion Sanders. I've got probably two of the hottest coaches in the country right now that are coaching my teams. And this was after a major drought at the University of Colorado, really 20 years or so. And these two guys are leaders and they're players coaches. And you can see that the players want to play for them. So, no, I couldn't have been more excited. Every once in a while do I think, all right, Deion, maybe you're going too far, but then it just works and it plays. And he's got the social media, group following him. And some of these videos he's putting out are mind blowing. That TCU game, we're going to see at the end of the season how good TCU really is and how big this win really was. But honestly, we were 21.5-point underdogs outright. We went into the national or a national championship runner-up, their house on the road, phenomenal program, and we beat them. We beat them straight up. And not only that, our defense actually kind of held strong when they were porous the whole game for the final play. So we've got some players on that squad. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when teams can start actually looking at tape because they can't. He's replaced 86 players, and no one knows exactly what that squad is just yet. So maybe games 4 and 5, they're going to start figuring us out. But right now, if I could pause time and just say, hey, the past two football games that my teams have played, this is kind of like my Super Bowl already.
I got to think your point was so spot on. A Colorado alum who's a diehard Lions fan. You have Dan Campbell and Deion. I mean, it's like
what?
Nobody can compare to that 1-2 punch from a cult of personality standpoint. I never even thought of that, but that's true. Like you have the two most fun to root for coaches in all of football.
It's unreal. Yeah, it's unreal. It's unbelievable stuff. And honestly, last year I started buying into the Lions. The Buffs, we had one win last year. So going into the season, our over-under, I think Vegas had us at 3.5 wins. I haven't looked at what we're at now, but this team's good. And Travis Hunter, this guy's about as phenomenal of an athlete as you can get. It's going to be really interesting tomorrow because this is a passion game. I mean, this is our rivalry game for 100+ years against Nebraska. So we've got a good setup. We're going to arrive real early. The game's at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So Deion's getting us a lot of fun primetime games, and I think we're going to come out with a solid W. But I don't want to go too far to say, hey, this is a national championship contender yet, nothing like that. But I really do think we're going to rack off some wins this year, and that's special. That's an exciting time in Colorado football. And the moment I saw the Flatirons coming down into Boulder, I'm in heaven. I miss this place. I would come back and live here tomorrow if I could put my work on wheels.
Well, you have every allegiance in the world there. I don't, and I still think it's like heaven on earth, most beautiful place. I mean, that Boulder is a top 3 place to live, in the world that I'm familiar with. I've been through Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Boulder is about as good as it gets. I was always jealous of the guys that went there because I never visited until after I graduated. But I said, man, these kids have it made. This is awesome in Boulder. It's going to be crazy down there tomorrow, even though it's 10 a.m. I have a feeling Deion will get the crowd ready even at 10, right?
Yeah, this place is this whole town is it's amped up. I mean, it is energized. You can just feel it walking into the hotel, driving through the streets. You can there's a different vibe taking place right now, and it's all Deion created. It's all Deion Sanders created. So we're really excited, and hopefully he keeps pulling it off tomorrow. Hopefully these guys keep playing for him, and hopefully we just shock the world again. I think we're 3-point favorites, which that line changed over the past week quite a bit, but I think it's going to be a really fun season across the board, knowing that even if our coach gets 4 or 5 wins, it's a huge success compared to what we did last year with 1 win. That being said, I want a lot more, and I want to see a bowl game, but hey, one step at a time.
You got to be careful. If Deion keeps it up, we might come steal another coach of yours. I don't know. We might come calling.
I like the last one you took. But this one we're gonna hold on to him pretty tight.
I mean, I was making fun of you after 11-2, and then we didn't talk for a year, and that wasn't a coincidence. I was actually avoiding you for that entire 5-7 campaign at East Lansing.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So my parents were there during the Duffy Doherty days at Michigan State. So I was bred a Sparty, and until I went to the University of Colorado, that was my number 1 team. So that was pretty bittersweet when Tucker kind of abandoned us. But in the grand scheme of things, it looks like we've kind of fallen into a good thing. So I guess all things work out in the end.
Boulder's incredible place. It's better when that program is good. It's been a while, but I'm just happy when certain iconic programs are good. We'll get you out of here. I know you have a big dinner to attend and a big slate ahead. I'm rooting for Deion. I'm rooting against Nebraska, so it's a double whammy. I'm with you all the way tomorrow. I'm an honorary buff for 4 hours. I hope you have a great time, and send my love to Annie. Hope you guys are sobering up and ready for a big day tomorrow.
You got it, Justin. Thanks for having me, and go Buffs.
Go Buffs. George Kordas, thank you. Appreciate your time. Ben, love you. Off the curb. I'm excited for everything going on. The Lions thing, I have been fairly labeled the biggest curmudgeon in the world. That's fine. Guilty. I think it's been mostly justified, but there's not a cynical thing in the world to say about what happened last night. Just an incredible moment, an incredible few hours. The outpouring from the fans that were in attendance, I thought, said so much about how they traveled. And I've been long intrigued by what a home game at Ford Field would sound like, feel like, be like. We might not see that. I'm not going to put that in the bank yet, but I think the closest thing that we'll get before that is this Sunday against Seattle, or next Sunday against Seattle. It's going to be an absolute zoo down there, something I don't think we've ever seen in that stadium. It's going to be electric, and I'm so excited to be there and be a part of it, and we certainly deserve this. And yes, I am definitely rooting for Deion tomorrow, not just for my friend George, but he's fascinating. I love that guy. Off the curb, Justin Spiro. We'll see you next time. Thanks.